take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for the Steelers rumors, we'll start things off with Keon Adams. Will he make an impact in 2018?
You know, I kind of thought he wasn't going to, but the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't really add anyone at the outside linebacker spot, so we bumped this one up to 2 heads. Look, he was a 7th-round pick out of Western Michigan last year, missed all of last year with a shoulder injury, but Pittsburgh didn't add anybody else to the outside linebacker spot. They didn't focus on getting out a big early-round addition there. That was a focal point for me on Pittsburgh. They're going to let Adams have a chance to earn a role. Now, he's back now. As of right now, he is in line to be the number 4 outside linebacker, but I could see a scenario where he does pass Anthony Chickalo. And if that's the case, then you are banking on Adams playing a bigger role. But I think in reality, Bud Dupree and TJ Watt are going to be the focal points at the outside linebacker spot for Pittsburgh. So it's not going to be a big one. Maybe on special teams he does play more role.
Okay, so 2 heads there. Let's take a look at the rumor meter, our scale of believability with these rumors. 0 heads, it's fake news. 1 head, small shred of truth. 2 heads, in that rumor category. 3 heads, pretty likely. And 4 heads, it's fact news. Let's take a look at the next rumor for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will inside linebacker be the most important position battle? Giving this 3 Goodell heads, Tom, makes a lot of sense here. Ryan Shazier no longer. You got John Bostic, who you'll see on your screen in a matter of seconds here. So what do we make of this?
I'm very concerned about the inside linebacker spot. I was concerned about it before Ryan Shazier suffered that unfortunate injury. I don't love Vince Williams. Now he's your best inside linebacker. Is that really what you want?
He wasn't awful last year.
He wasn't awful. John Bostic wasn't awful either. But are those the 2 guys you want at inside linebacker?
Probably not.
Are you gonna promote Tyler Matakevich to a starting role? Probably not. So I'm kind of concerned about it. Now, they're good enough at other spots on defense, namely up front and at corner in the secondary, that I think they'll be okay. Mm-hmm. You can't invest a bunch of high picks at every position, so you have to go cheap and less talented in certain areas, in most cases. So I am a little bit concerned about this one. If I'm Pittsburgh, I've mentioned this before, Cam, go sign Navarro Bowman. Like, bring the kid back to the state of Pennsylvania.
Still out there.
Start him at inside linebacker. He is a perfect fit for the Steelers scheme, and he's going to be a good player. Now, he's not going to be peak Navarro Bowman, but he's better than what you got on the roster. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Go get Bowman, and then you're in great shape.
Let's go to the offensive side here, Tom. Le'Veon Bell, will he miss the entire offseason? I'm close to 3 heads, but we're going to give it 2 for now. Did miss the entire offseason a year ago, Tom. So what do you make of the situation here? Just got the franchise tag.
I mean, the only reason it's 2 is because maybe they do work out a long-term deal. And Lev Bell has made it very clear he wants to be paid in a very big fashion. Mm-hmm. And he's mentioned before, actually in a rap song, that he wanted to earn at least $15 million a year. Some reports have said even $17 million. I don't know if he actually wants to get that much money in terms of 17. But it is notable. He turned down a deal worth $12 million. Steelers allegedly upped their offer, so you're thinking, okay, at least 14 or 13 is what they offered there. Are you going to pay Lev Bell $15 million here? Because that's what I think right now you have to give him to sign.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Cam. It's because I don't value halfbacks that much. As great as Lev Bell is, I'm not paying him $15 million. I just can't bring myself to give a guy that much money at the running back position. I mean, you're paying him almost quarterback money. That's
pretty much, yeah. And what, Odell was in the 17 to 20 range, just for example?
I'll mention this now. He's only played in all 16 games once. Now, last year was whatever because he played in 15 and had a massive workload.
Suspensions, too.
But the suspension, there are some past injuries, and we know how quickly the halfback shelf life is. It's gone pretty quickly. So, look, if you can get him to take 13, 14, then I'll do it. But if you start approaching that $15 million mark, as great as Lev Bell is, that's a lot of money to invest in a position where there's a real chance that it just kind of falls off. Now, I don't think it's going to for Bell, but it's a big enough of a risk that you have to at least consider it.
All right, let's go to rumor number 4 here. Terrell Edmonds to be a starter in Week 1. 1 Goodell head here, Tom, just because the depth chart really doesn't warrant it.
If you're looking at safety, I think it's almost fake news.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's 0 heads because Morgan Burnett is going to start. Sean Davis is going to start. Well, there you go. Now, if one of those guys get injured, maybe something changes. Where I think you could see Edmonds not really start, but get some almost starting snaps, I could see him getting some linebacker work. He had some snaps during rookie minicamp at the linebacker position, and he's big enough to play the linebacker in sub-packages almost as like a Deion Buchanan type player. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, all of a sudden, I'm okay with the pick a little bit more. I still would have picked somebody else. And it does help out at inside linebacker because we've seen Burnett play some linebacker. Davis is was more of a safety corner hybrid. He also drafted Marcus Allen. So just the one head, if he does get a lot of work at linebacker, I'll feel much better about Pittsburgh's inside linebacker core, especially on passing downs, because I don't want Vince Williams and John Bostic covering dudes in the flat.
All right.
Or tight ends. That's just not going to go well.
One head there on Terrell Edmonds. Let's go to number 5 here. Will replacing Martavis Bryant be a challenge for the Pittsburgh Steelers? 2 heads here, but I will say I kind of laughed to myself when I read this.
Yes and no for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
You're going to be able to get that production. You'll be able to find a receiver or multiple receivers to put up 50 receptions, 600 yards, and just 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
But the role that Bryant played is a little bit trickier, and Big Ben mentioned this as well. You know, he helped the safeties by taking some of the top of the defense and made big plays. And the hope is that James Washington becomes that guy. But James Washington is over 3 inches shorter and a 1/10 of a second slower. Now you say, oh, 1/10 of a second, that's not a big deal. It is a big deal in the NFL.
It matters.
A 4.5 4.40 that Washington ran is a big difference than a 4.42 from Martavis Bryant. So you're hoping that James Washington becomes that take top of a defense vertical threat guy to replace Martavis Bryant. But I don't think it's that simple of, oh, now we're good, we've taken care of it. So that's the concern for me. I think you can match the production, but I don't know if the play style replacement is truly there for Pittsburgh.
Great reaction poll here. Who will have more receiving yards in 2018? Martavis Bryant with the Raiders or James Washington with the Steelers? This is very interesting. And of course, you've got Jordy Nelson out there with the Oakland Raiders as well, Amari Cooper. So a nice, solid wide receiving core there. But with Big Ben and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe there's not an opportunity for James Washington to surpass Martavis Bryant. It's a really hard question. I really don't know.
I think I'm actually going to go with James Washington.
Really?
Which is weird, but it's because of the fit.
Yeah.
Like, you go to Oakland, you got Jordy Nelson, Amari Cooper, you got Ryan Switzer, you got some tight ends there. I think there's less potential for volume target share for Brian in Oakland.
We're just talking about yards here, too.
Yeah, then I think Washington, if he plays that deep threat role, I can see him getting 600 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know if Brian's going to get that much in Oakland. Now, maybe he does, but I think it's going to be close. But I think because Pittsburgh tends to throw it more and with more success through the air than Oakland has with Derek Carr, even just Carr's best year last year was less than Big Ben had this season. I think the upside is higher for Washington.
All right, let's talk about Washington real quick here. The rumor is, will he have the biggest rookie impact for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2018? 2 heads on this one, but we just kind of...
This might be 3.
Yeah, we gave him a couple of
It's pretty
glowing
close.
reviews here, Tom.
I think the issue for Pittsburgh in terms of biggest rookie impact, you go through their top guys. Terrell Edmonds is a big factor there, so I think that's why it's 2, because Edmonds and Washington are splitting these 2 heads here. That's the reality is because Edmonds is going to get some work, at worst case, on passing downs, I think, at linebacker. If everything goes according to plan, Mason Rudolph does not play. Same with Chukwuma Okorafor. Those guys don't play. Jalen Samuel is the other notable guy, at least in my eyes. A versatile player that I like. Is he going to outproduce Washington if
Probably
they're both
not.
healthy?
Yeah.
No. So 2 heads, 2 to Washington, 2 to Edmonds. I think it's a fair question, and I wouldn't be surprised if, definitely in fantasy terms, Washington is the big impact guy for Pittsburgh.